Hi there, and welcome to Juicy Celeb Talks. Hold on tight because this story about Sean Diddy Combs is about to take you on a wild ride. We all know Diddy as a music mogul, but recent revelations suggest his past is far more complicated and darker than most of us could have imagined. First, there's the jaw-dropping revelation about Diddy's father, Melvin Combs. He wasn't just an ordinary guy, he was deeply embedded in the drug trade in Harlem, New York. Melvin was close friends with none other than Frank Lucas, one of the most infamous drug dealers in American history. Lucas was notorious for smuggling heroin into the United States in the caskets of American soldiers during the Vietnam War, a scheme so audacious it inspired the film American Gangster. When Melvin died, many assumed his drug operation would collapse. However, according to Jean, a former associate, Diddy secretly took over his father's illicit business. This claim paints Diddy not just as a music industry titan but as a major player in New York's underground drug scene, a twist worthy of a crime thriller. But let's rewind a bit. Diddy's troubled upbringing seems to be at the core of these shocking developments. He was only 3 years old when his father was killed. Diddy has often spoken about how his father's death affected him, claiming it made him more determined to succeed. However, growing up surrounded by drugs and violence likely had a profound impact on his psyche. Melvin Combs's connections to Frank Lucas weren't merely casual. He was actively involved in the drug trade, even though he served in the U.S. Air Force. This dual life might explain why Diddy has so many layers and why his past is filled with contradictions. Melvin's death in a botched drug deal adds a grim chapter to Diddy's already tumultuous childhood. Despite the tragic loss, Diddy's mother, Janice, did everything she could to protect her son from the harsh realities of their environment. She moved the family out of Harlem to Mount Vernon, New York, to give Diddy a better chance at life. She even worked multiple jobs to afford his tuition at a private school. Yet, the streets of Harlem left an indelible mark on young Diddy. It's interesting to note how Diddy tries to reconcile his father's criminal activities with his success. In interviews, he has acknowledged his father's role as a hustler and a drug dealer, saying it motivated him to work harder. He even credited his father's hustler spirit with his drive and determination. However, this narrative seems a bit too neat, especially when we consider the darker aspects of his father's legacy. Diddy's attempts to paint his father in a somewhat positive light are contradicted by the facts. Melvin Combs was deeply involved in the drug world, and his ties to Frank Lucas were significant. Lucas himself confirmed that Melvin was more than just a friend, he was a key player in his operation. This relationship casts a long shadow over Diddy's life and career. After Melvin's death, Janice did her best to shield Diddy from the truth. She told him that his father died in a car accident, a story meant to keep him from following in his father's footsteps. However, Diddy eventually uncovered the truth on his own. This discovery must have been a turning point for him, adding another layer of complexity to his already challenging upbringing. Diddy's childhood wasn't just marked by his father's death and his mother's struggles. He also rubbed shoulders with some unsavory characters. Even while attending a Catholic school, he formed a close friendship with Andrew Campos, a member of the notorious Gambino crime family. This connection continued well into adulthood, with Campos eventually rising to the rank of captain in the family and facing serious legal charges. In recent years, Diddy has faced numerous allegations and legal troubles that further complicate his public image. One of the most shocking claims comes from Jean, who suggests that Diddy didn't just take over his father's drug business but expanded it, using Bad Boy Records as a front. This allegation ties Diddy to some of the most notorious drug families in America, including the Black Mafia family, BMF. In 2022, Andrew Campos, Diddy's old friend, was hit with RICO charges, money laundering, and wire fraud, leading to a 37-month prison sentence. Jean claims that Diddy had similar ambitions, allegedly extending his drug operations to places like Detroit. This claim is supported by a lawsuit from last year where Jane Doe accused Diddy and his associates of serious crimes, including sexual assault and drugging her when she was just 17.
Jane Doe's lawsuit hints at Diddy's connections to the BMF, suggesting they helped launch Bad Boy Records and used it as a front for money laundering. These allegations, if true, paint a picture of Diddy as someone deeply enmeshed in the criminal underworld, far beyond what the public sees. Diddy has also been accused of involving celebrities in questionable activities. Cassie, Lil' Kim, and Machine Gun Kelly have all been linked to Diddy in ways that raise eyebrows. Machine Gun Kelly, for instance, recounted an incident where Diddy gave him something to smoke that had a profound and unsettling effect. This story adds to the mystique and suspicion surrounding Diddy's private life and his possible involvement in the drug trade. Hollywood has long been familiar with drug-related scandals, but Diddy's case stands out because of his alleged role in not just using but also distributing drugs. His connection to Brendan Paul, who was caught with illegal substances at Miami International Airport, further fuels these rumors. According to Katt Williams, Diddy has been running his father's business for years, using Bad Boy Records as a cover. The RICO charges Diddy faces aren't just about sexual assault allegations. According to Katt Williams, the charges also involve drugs, as federal authorities aim to dismantle his alleged drug empire. Fans have commented on the irony of Diddy's situation, noting that his actions echo the kind of criminal activities his father was involved in.
Diddy's life is a complex web of success, tragedy, and controversy. From his father's violent death and his mother's efforts to shield him from a life of crime to his own alleged involvement in the drug trade, Diddy's story is far from straightforward. It's a tale of a man who has navigated the darkest corners of the streets while building an empire in the music industry. As we continue to unravel the layers of Diddy's life, it's clear that his public persona is just the tip of the iceberg. Behind the glitz and glamour lies a history filled with secrets, betrayals, and survival against the odds. Whether he is a cunning strategist who inherited his father's hustler spirit or a man haunted by his past, one thing is certain: Diddy's story is one of the most intriguing and complex sagas in the world of entertainment. Lock in, because the revelations about Diddy and his family's dark past are nothing short of explosive. The tea being spilled by Jean and Feline Williams is shaking the very foundations of what we thought we knew about the music mogul. For years, rumors have swirled about Diddy's troubled upbringing, including allegations that his mother introduced him to adult activities at a young age. But the recent bombshells take things to an entirely new level. According to Jean, Diddy's father, Melvin Combs, was not just any street hustler, he was deeply embedded in the drug trade, working closely with the infamous Frank Lucas, a key player in Harlem's drug scene. When Melvin was killed, many assumed his drug operations died with him. However, Jean claims Diddy quietly took over his father's illicit business, using his burgeoning music career as a cover. This stunning revelation paints a picture of Diddy as a central figure in New York's drug trade, a storyline that seems ripped straight from a crime thriller. Diddy has always portrayed himself as a hard-working entrepreneur, but these allegations suggest a much darker reality. Jean's claims include Diddy's involvement in the murders of Biggie Smalls and Tupac, suggesting he used his power to control not just the music industry but the criminal underworld as well. He alleges that Diddy misled Biggie's mother about the circumstances of her son's death to maintain control over Biggie's music masters and portfolio. In his recent interviews, Jean also recounts a chilling encounter with a man known as New York Freddie, who revealed the extent of Melvin Combs' involvement in the drug trade. Freddie described how Melvin was betrayed by his associates and ultimately met a grisly end due to his entanglements with law enforcement and criminal figures. Despite Diddy's public persona of success and resilience, these revelations cast a shadow over his legacy. His rise from Harlem to the pinnacle of the music industry now appears intertwined with a history of crime and betrayal. The contrast between his polished public image and the gritty reality of his alleged criminal activities is stark, making it difficult to reconcile the two. Adding to the complexity, Diddy's attempts to protect his image have involved numerous legal battles and allegations of violence, both physical and sexual, from multiple individuals. These accusations paint a picture of a man determined to maintain his empire at any cost, even if it means resorting to nefarious means. Diddy's relationship with drugs extends beyond alleged trafficking. His influence on those around him, including artists like Machine Gun Kelly, reveals a pattern of reckless behavior. Kelly's account of being offered powerful substances by Diddy highlights a culture of excess and danger that seems to pervade Diddy's inner circle. The saga of Diddy, his father's criminal legacy, and his own alleged continuation of that legacy is a tangled web of ambition, crime, and survival. As more details emerge, the line between the man we see in the spotlight and the one operating behind the scenes becomes increasingly blurred. This ongoing narrative challenges our perceptions of success and the lengths to which some will go to achieve it, leaving us questioning the true cost of Diddy's rise to fame and power.